Hello, Mr. Detective listeners. Our brilliant detective Marcus Reid wishes you good viewing. Marcus Reid stared at 24 hours of blank surveillance footage and felt reality tilt sideways. The timestamp ran continuously, Tuesday 3:00 p.m. to Wednesday 3:00 p.m., but the subject never appeared. Not once. Not in the apartment lobby, not on the street cameras, not at the coffee shop she visited daily. It was as if Victoria Marsh had simply ceased to exist for an entire day. Then, at exactly 3:01 p.m. on Wednesday, her body was found in her apartment. Murdered. This doesn't make sense, Captain Chen said, standing behind Marcus in the tech room. We have her entering her building Monday night. We have her body discovered Wednesday afternoon. But Tuesday? Nothing. Like she was erased, Marcus rewound the lobby footage again. Victoria walked in Monday at 11:47 p.m. The next person to enter was a delivery driver Wednesday at 9:13 a.m. In between, silence. Empty corridors. No Victoria. Her phone? Marcus asked. No activity Tuesday. No calls, no texts, no data usage. Last ping was Monday night from her apartment. Next ping was Wednesday morning when we found the body. The tech pulled up cellular records. It's like the phone didn't exist for 24 hours. Credit cards? Same. Last transaction Monday night. Takeout food. Nothing Tuesday. Then Wednesday, her autopsy shows she'd eaten recently. Stomach contents included foods she didn't have in her apartment. But no purchase records anywhere. Marcus felt the familiar tingle of a pattern emerging. Victoria Marsh, 32, pharmaceutical researcher, found dead in her locked apartment with no signs of forced entry. Cause of death, poisoning. Time of death, estimated Tuesday evening. But for the entire day Tuesday, she'd been invisible. Pull any similar cases from the past 6 months, Marcus said. People who died with unexplained gaps in their timeline. Missing surveillance footage. Memory holes. Chen worked her tablet. There's one. Daniel Foster, 41, investment banker. Died 5 weeks ago. Also found in his locked apartment. Also poisoned and, she looked up, face pale. Also missing from all records for 24 hours before death. Marcus grabbed the Foster file. Same pattern. Daniel entered his building Sunday evening. Body found Tuesday morning. Monday, nothing. No cameras. No phone activity. No witnesses. Just a blank space where a person should have been. 2 victims. 2 24-hour vanishing acts. 2 poisonings. Marcus spread both files across the conference table. These are connected. Someone's taking these people somewhere for a day, then killing them and returning the bodies. But how? How do you erase someone from every camera, every phone record, every witness account? That's not just careful planning. That's impossible. Marcus didn't answer because he was thinking the same thing. This level of erasure suggested something beyond normal criminal capability. Either they were dealing with someone who could hack every system simultaneously, or something stranger was happening. His phone buzzed. Unknown number, he answered. Detective Reid. A woman's voice shaking. My name is Sarah Chen. My brother went missing yesterday. I know because I tried calling him all day. But when I filed a report, the police said there's no evidence he's missing. His phone pinged from home. His doorman saw him. But I know something's wrong. He's not answering. He's not there. It's like everyone remembers him being there, but he's not. Marcus felt cold spread through his chest. What's your brother's name? David Chen. He's a neurologist. Lives downtown. Please, I know something's wrong. I can feel it. Marcus grabbed his jacket. Send me his address. I'm on my way. David Chen's apartment building was sleek and modern with cameras everywhere. Marcus reviewed yesterday's footage with building security. There, David entering Tuesday at 4:15 p.m., then nothing until this morning when he left for work at 7:30 a.m., except Sarah insisted she'd called him 16 times yesterday. None of those calls showed in phone records. And the doorman claimed he'd seen David twice yesterday, once coming in, once going out for dinner. Marcus interviewed the doorman. You're sure you saw Dr. Chen yesterday evening? Positive. Around 7. He went out, came back an hour later with takeout. We talked about the weather. The doorman seemed confident, certain, but the cameras showed no one leaving or entering at those times. Marcus went up to David's apartment. Sarah had a key. Inside, everything looked normal. No signs of struggle. David's laptop sat on his desk. Marcus opened it. Last activity Tuesday morning. Nothing after that until this morning. He's not here, Sarah said, voice breaking. I know he's alive, but he's not here. Something took him. Something's wrong with time or reality or... She stopped. probably hearing how crazy she sounded. Marcus didn't think she sounded crazy. He thought she sounded right. His phone rang. The precinct. We've got another body. Melissa Rodriguez, 29, tech consultant. Found dead in her home, poisoning. And Marcus, she's missing from all surveillance and records for exactly 24 hours before death. 3 victims now. 3 people who'd vanished from observable reality for 1 day, then turned up dead from poisoning. No witnesses to those missing hours, no digital footprint, no physical evidence. Marcus returned to the precinct and built a timeline. Victoria Marsh vanished Tuesday, found dead Wednesday. Daniel Foster vanished Monday 5 weeks ago, found dead Tuesday. Melissa Rodriguez vanished yesterday, found dead today. Different days, different weeks, but all following the same pattern. 24 hours of non-existence, then death. We need to figure out what connects them, Chen said. Victims are different ages, different professions, different neighborhoods. What's the common thread? Marcus studied their backgrounds. Victoria worked in pharmaceuticals, Daniel in finance, Melissa in tech consulting. No obvious connection. Different social circles, different interests, Marcus pulled up their medical records. All 3 had participated in the same clinical trial 2 years ago. A study on sleep disorders conducted by Neurological Research Institute. The trial tested a new medication designed to treat severe insomnia by inducing deep restorative sleep. That's it, Marcus said. The trial. Whatever they were given then is affecting them now. Someone's activating it remotely, erasing them from perception for 24 hours, then killing them. That's not possible. You can't make someone invisible with medication. Not invisible. Unnoticed. Unremembered. What if the drug doesn't make them disappear? It makes everyone else forget they were there. Cameras record them, but when we review footage, our brains don't register them. People see them but immediately forget. It's not time manipulation. It's perception manipulation. Chen looked skeptical. So we're seeing them but can't remember seeing them. Exactly. The doorman saw David. The cameras recorded him. But 24 hours later when we check, the memory's gone. Erased by whatever compound they ingested during that trial. Marcus pulled up the trial information. We need to talk to whoever ran this study, and we need to find David Chen before his 24 hours run out. Neurological Research Institute occupied a glass tower in the medical district. Dr. Evelyn Cross, the lead researcher on the sleep study, met them in her office. She was in her 50s, professional, and increasingly nervous as Marcus explained why they were there. The trial was terminated early. Dr. Cross said, "We discovered the compound had unexpected side effects. Long-term neural changes we hadn't anticipated. We destroyed all samples and discontinued treatment." What kind of neural changes? The medication created pathways that could be reactivated under certain conditions. Subjects would enter a state where they became temporally displaced, present physically but perceptually absent. For 24 hours, they'd exist in a kind of cognitive blind spot. No one could consciously register their presence. Marcus leaned forward. You're saying you accidentally created a drug that makes people forgettable? More than forgettable, unperceivable. Their presence doesn't register in others' consciousness or memory. Security cameras record them, phones log calls, but later review shows nothing because the observer's brain can't process the information. It's as if those 24 hours never happened, and someone's weaponizing this, reactivating the effect in trial participants, then killing them during their vanishing period. Marcus pulled up photos of the 3 victims. Did these people finish the trial? Dr. Cross studied the photos, her face going white. Yes, all 3 completed the full protocol. But there were 15 total participants. If someone's targeting them systematically, then 12 more people are in danger. Marcus stood. We need names and addresses, now. Dr. Cross pulled up the list. 15 names, 3 already dead, 12 potentially targeted. Among them, David Chen. Marcus called Sarah. Is your brother a neurologist at Mercy Hospital? Yes, why? Did he ever participate in a sleep study about 2 years ago? Silence. Then, he mentioned something. Said they were testing new insomnia treatments. He volunteered because he was having trouble sleeping. His 24 hours started yesterday. If the pattern holds, he'll die today unless we find him first. Marcus was already moving toward his car. Where would he go if he knew something was wrong? Somewhere he felt safe. Our parents' old house. He still has a key. It's been empty since they died. But David goes there sometimes when he needs to think. Marcus got the address and drove across town. The house stood in a quiet suburb, dark and seemingly empty. He approached carefully, tried the door, locked. He knocked. "David, it's Detective Reid. Your sister sent me." "You're in danger." No answer. Marcus circled to the back, found a window slightly ajar. He climbed through into what looked like a study. Family photos on the walls, books everywhere. And sitting in a leather chair, almost invisible in the shadows, was David Chen. "You can see me," David said, voice hollow. "No one else can. I've been trying to get help all day. Went to the hospital, the police station, even stood in front of my sister's house screaming her name. Everyone looked through me like I was a ghost." Marcus moved closer slowly. "I can see you because I'm looking for you specifically. My brain's primed to recognize you. But you're right. To everyone else, you're unperceivable. A clinical trial you participated in activated something in your brain. Someone's using it to target participants. The sleep study. Dr. Cross warned us there might be long-term effects. But she said they were minor, harmless." David looked at his hands. "Am I dying? Is this what happened to Victoria and Daniel? They just faded out?" "You're not fading. You're being erased temporarily. But yes, Victoria Marsh and Daniel Foster were killed during their vanishing periods. Someone poisoned them. We think you're next." Marcus pulled out his phone. "I'm calling for protection. We'll keep you safe until this wears off. It won't wear off. I've been reading about it. The effect is permanent until chemically reversed. I could stay like this forever if someone doesn't stop it." David's voice cracked. "I've been invisible for 22 hours. How much longer until they come for me?" Marcus didn't answer because he didn't know. Whoever was killing the trial participants had been methodical, patient, waiting until the victims were most vulnerable, most desperate, most isolated by their own imperceptibility. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You can see him, but can you save him? 2 hours remaining. Tick-tock, detective." Marcus showed the message to David. "They're watching. They know I found you, which means they'll accelerate their timeline." He called Chen. "I need a protective detail at these coordinates, and I need Dr. Cross brought in. Someone's using her research as a murder weapon." They had to have access to the trial data and the reactivation trigger, but even as backup was dispatched, Marcus felt uneasy. The killer had proven they could move unseen, strike invisibly, erase evidence perfectly. Protecting David meant seeing him continuously, never looking away, never letting perception slip, because the moment Marcus stopped focusing on David, the moment his attention wavered, David would slip back into that cognitive blind spot. Would become unperceivable again, would become vulnerable, and 2 hours wasn't much time at all. Marcus didn't take his eyes off David Chen for the next hour. Not even to blink for too long. He'd learned quickly that the moment his focus wavered, David would slip from his consciousness like water through fingers. It required constant active attention to keep David perceptible. Backup arrived, 2 uniformed officers and Detective Mills, Marcus, briefed them at the door while keeping David in his peripheral vision. "You need to focus on him continuously," Marcus instructed. "The moment you look away, he'll vanish from your awareness. Your brain will edit him out. Understand?" Mills looked skeptical. "This sounds like science fiction." "It's neuroscience. The drug rewired their perception pathways. Just trust me and keep your eyes on the subject." Marcus led them inside where David still sat in the leather chair. Mills looked directly at the chair. "Where is he?" "Right there. In the chair. Focus." Mills squinted, then his eyes widened as David suddenly seemed to materialize. "Jesus, he was there the whole time and I couldn't see him. Now don't look away. The effect is continuous. We need shifts. One person always watching him while others rest their eyes." "Can you do that?" They established a rotation. Marcus took first watch while Mills and the officers swept the house for entry points. Sarah Chen arrived 20 minutes later, rushing to her brother. "David!" She couldn't see him at first. Marcus guided her line of sight until suddenly David appeared to her. "Sarah." David's voice was weak. "I'm sorry. I should have told you about the trial, about the side effects. We'll fix this. Detective Reid will find who's doing this." She held his hand, or tried to. Her grip kept slipping as her attention wavered and David phased out of her perception. Marcus's phone rang. "Dr. Cross." "Detective, I've been going through old trial data. I found something disturbing. The compound we used was designed to suppress overactive neural pathways, but it also created a vulnerability. With the right trigger, a specific frequency of light or sound, the displacement effect could be reactivated remotely. So someone's broadcasting a trigger signal that makes these people imperceptible? Exactly. And once activated, the effect lasts 24 hours unless chemically reversed. I'm working on a counteragent, but it'll take time to synthesize. How much time? 6 hours minimum. Marcus checked his watch. David had less than 2 hours left in his displacement window. After that, he'd become perceivable again naturally. But the killer knew this. Knew their window of opportunity was closing. The trigger signal. Can you trace it? I can try. If someone's broadcasting, there should be a source. Give me 30 minutes. Dr. Cross ended the call. Marcus turned back to David, whose form flickered at the edge of his vision. Maintaining constant focus was exhausting. Like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The harder you gripped, the more slipped away. Marcus. Chen appeared at his elbow. We've got a problem. I just got a call. Another trial participant, Thomas Wright. His wife reported him acting strangely this morning. Said he walked right past her like she wasn't there. Then he left the house. Security footage shows nothing, but she swears he's gone. That's 4 active displacements now. David, Thomas, and... Marcus pulled up the trial participant list. We need to locate all 12 remaining subjects. Get them somewhere secure before they're targeted. But even as Chen coordinated the effort, Marcus knew it was nearly impossible. How do you protect people no one can see? How do you track someone who leaves no trace, no memory, no evidence of their existence? His phone buzzed. A message from the killer. You're thinking too small, detective. This isn't about 12 people. It's about proving a point. Neurogen played God with human perception. Now I'm showing them the consequences. 1 hour remaining. Marcus studied the message. Proving a point. This wasn't just murder. It was a demonstration. A statement about the dangers of neurological experimentation. He called Dr. Cross back. Who else had access to the trial data? Someone with a grudge against Neurogen or the research itself? There was one person, Dr. James Porter. He was my research partner until we terminated the trial. James wanted to continue. Said the displacement effect was a breakthrough, not a failure. We could weaponize it, sell it to military or intelligence agencies. I refused. We had a falling out. He was fired. Where is he now? I don't know. He disappeared after the termination. Took copies of all our research with him. I reported it, but Neurogen wanted to bury the whole thing quietly. Dr. Cross's voice dropped. If James is behind this, he's not just killing people. He's creating a demonstration, showing potential buyers what the technology can do. Marcus felt pieces clicking into place. Porter wasn't a murderer driven by revenge. He was a salesman. Each death was a proof of concept, evidence that the displacement effect worked and could be controlled. He was building a portfolio to sell to the highest bidder. Send me everything you have on Porter, work history, associates, last known location, and accelerate that counteragent. We're running out of time. Marcus returned his focus to David, who was becoming harder to perceive. The effect was intensifying as the window narrowed. David's voice sounded distant, like it was coming from underwater. I can feel it getting worse, like I'm slipping between moments, being here and not here simultaneously. David looked at his hands, which seemed to flicker in and out of solidity. If I die like this, will anyone remember I existed? Will there be a body, or will I just stop being? You're not going to die. We have 45 minutes until your perception normalizes. Just hold on, but holding on was becoming harder. David's form was translucent now, barely visible even with direct focus. The displacement was reaching its peak, the point where even concentrated attention couldn't maintain perception. Mills shouted from the next room. Contact! Someone's in the house. Marcus drew his weapon but couldn't leave David. The moment he looked away, David would vanish completely. Mills, report. I saw movement upstairs. Someone definitely. Mills's voice cut off with a crash. Marcus was torn. Pursue the intruder or protect David? If he left, David would become imperceptible to everyone, vulnerable. But if he stayed, the killer had free run of the house. The decision was made for him. The lights went out. Complete darkness. And in darkness, perception became impossible. David's voice came from somewhere nearby. Marcus, I can't see anything. Can you see me? No, stay still. Don't move. Marcus activated his phone flashlight, sweeping it across the room. Empty. David had vanished from perception completely without visual anchoring. Footsteps on the stairs. Marcus aimed his weapon toward the sound. A figure emerged from the darkness. Middle-aged man in a dark coat carrying a syringe. Dr. Porter, I presume. The man smiled. Detective Reid, you've been more persistent than expected. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. You can't protect what you can't perceive. He raised the syringe. This is concentrated neurotoxin, untraceable, mimics natural causes. In 10 seconds, David Chen will be dead, and you won't even remember he was here. Marcus fired. The shot went wide as Porter moved with unnatural speed, closing the distance. They grappled, the syringe inches from Marcus's neck. Porter was stronger than he looked, driven by fanatic certainty. You don't understand what we created, Porter hissed. The ability to exist outside observation, to move through the world unseen. Neurogen wanted to bury it, but I see its potential. Military applications, espionage, perfect crimes, and these deaths prove it works. Marcus slammed Porter against the wall, the syringe clattering away. You're killing innocent people to sell a weapon. I'm demonstrating a product. There's a difference. Porter kneed Marcus in the ribs, breaking free. He lunged for the syringe and froze. David Chen stood there, suddenly visible, holding the syringe. His 24 hours were up. Perception had normalized, and the rage in his eyes was unmistakable. You killed Victoria, Daniel, Melissa, made us into ghosts to prove your sick theory. David's hand shook. Give me one reason not to inject you with this. Let you feel what it's like to be erased. Porter backed away. You won't. You're a doctor. You took an oath. So did you. And you broke it. David looked at Marcus. What happens to him? Real justice or just another trial where money buys freedom? Marcus approached slowly. Real justice, prison, life sentence. He'll pay for every person he killed. Will he? Or will some lawyer find a technicality? Some judge decide there's reasonable doubt? David's voice was bitter. 24 hours of being invisible had left scars. I've seen what the system does. How it fails. Then prove it doesn't have to. Be better than him. Choose law over revenge. Marcus extended his hand. Give me the syringe, David. Let the system work. For a long moment, David stared at the neurotoxin. Then he handed it to Marcus. I hope you're right. That justice actually happens. Porter was arrested, read his rights, taken into custody. Mills recovered. He'd been hit with a tranquilizer dart, but would be fine. The house was processed as a crime scene, and David Chen was taken to the hospital for observation and treatment. But the case wasn't over. That night, Marcus received files from Dr. Cross, the counteragent synthesis data, the trial participant list, and something else. A financial record showing Porter had already sold the displacement technology to 3 separate buyers. The demonstration worked. Dr. Cross's message read, buyers include a private military contractor, a foreign intelligence agency, and an unnamed corporate entity. Porter has already delivered the activation protocols. The technology is out there now, Marcus, and we can't stop it. Marcus stared at the files. Porter would go to prison for murder, but his creation would live on. 12 more trial participants remained vulnerable. And somewhere, people with access to the displacement trigger were learning how to weaponize human imperceptibility. His phone buzzed. A call from David. Detective, I need to tell you something. During my 24 hours, I went places. Saw things. I was invisible, so I walked into rooms I shouldn't have. Overheard conversations. Witnessed crimes. And no one knew I was there. What did you see? Enough to know Porter wasn't the only one selling this technology. There's a network. People who participated in the original trial, some of them aren't victims. They're buyers. They wanted the displacement effect. Paid Porter to reactivate it permanently. David's voice dropped. We're not dealing with a serial killer, Marcus. We're dealing with a marketplace. And the product is invisibility. Marcus felt reality shift again. The case he thought he'd solved had just opened into something far larger. Porter was a symptom, not the disease. The real threat was the 12 trial participants still out there. Some victims, some willing participants, all capable of existing outside observation. How many are buyers versus victims? I don't know. But I saw one of them, Thomas Wright. The man who supposedly went missing this morning? He didn't disappear. He chose to activate his displacement. And during those 24 hours, he robbed a bank. Walked right past guards and cameras. Took $2 million. No one even knew he was there. Marcus pulled up Wright's file. Mild-mannered accountant. No criminal record. No red flags. But with displacement capability, he'd become the perfect thief. There's more, David continued. I think Porter's murder victims weren't random. I think he was eliminating people who refused to join his network. People like Victoria who discovered what he was doing and threatened to expose it. The poisonings were silencing witnesses, not demonstrations. Marcus's mind raced through implications. If David was right, the displacement effect wasn't being used to prove a concept. It was being used to build a criminal network. People who could commit any crime while remaining imperceptible. The perfect criminal organization. David, I need you to come in. Official statement. Everything you saw during your displacement? I can't. They're watching. The network knows I was there. Knows I saw too much. That's why Porter came for me. Not as a demonstration, but as elimination. I'm a loose end. David's voice was tense. And Marcus? They know about you now too. You've seen too much. Learned too much. How long before someone decides you need to be displaced permanently? The call ended. Marcus sat in the dark precinct, surrounded by files on people who could walk through walls, rob banks, commit murders, all while remaining completely unobserved. Porter's arrest meant nothing. The network remained. The technology spread. And somewhere people were learning to live in the blind spots of human perception. His phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number. A message. Welcome to the invisible world, detective. Population 13. You're next. Marcus looked at his reflection in the dark window, and for just a moment he couldn't see himself at all. Marcus woke up the next morning with no memory of going to bed. His alarm read 7:15 a.m., but the last thing he remembered was sitting at his desk, reviewing files at 9 p.m. the previous night. 10 hours gone. Just missing. He checked his phone. No calls, no texts. Battery at 40%. Consistent with normal overnight drain. His apartment looked undisturbed. Coffee mug from last night still on the counter. Cold. Everything normal except for the 10 missing hours he couldn't account for. Marcus's hands shook as he checked security footage from his building. There. He entered at 8:47 p.m. Then nothing until 6:30 a.m. when he left his apartment for his morning run. 7 hours of blank footage, not corrupted. Not missing, just empty, as if he'd never existed during that time. The displacement had started. Someone had triggered it remotely. Marcus was becoming imperceptible. He drove to the precinct, testing reality constantly. Did the security guard see him? Did the receptionist acknowledge him? Did Chen look up when he entered? Each interaction felt tenuous, like he might slip through at any moment. Marcus, you look terrible, Chen said. Rough night. I can't remember it. Any of it. Marcus showed her the footage gap. Someone activated displacement in me. I lost 7 hours last night. It's starting. Chen's face went pale. But you weren't in the trial. You didn't take the drug. How could they? I don't know. Maybe there's another trigger method. Maybe proximity exposure. Maybe they've refined the technology. Marcus pulled up the files on his desk. I need Dr. Cross. Now. If I have 17 hours left before full displacement, I need to figure out who's doing this and why. But calling Dr. Cross revealed another problem. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Her office at Neurogen was empty. Security said she hadn't been in for 2 days. Marcus sent units to her home, empty. Car in the driveway, but no Dr. Cross. She's been displaced, Marcus realized. They got to her first because she could create the counter-agent. Without her, anyone affected stays imperceptible permanently or until the network decides to reverse it. So we have no way to stop your displacement. Not unless we find the network and force them to reverse it. Or find Dr. Cross during her imperceptible period. Marcus checked his watch. I have maybe 16 hours of normal perception left. After that, I become invisible. And once I'm invisible, they can do anything to me. No witnesses. No evidence. No way to prove I was even there. Chen grabbed his arm. Then we use those 16 hours. We find this network and tear it apart. Marcus started with Thomas Wright, the accountant who'd robbed the bank during his displacement. Wright's apartment was empty, but Marcus found something, a receipt from an electronics store. High-end radio equipment, frequency generators, the kind of tech needed to broadcast displacement triggers. He tracked the purchase to a warehouse in the industrial district. Surveillance showed multiple people coming and going, all of them former trial participants. Marcus recognized faces from Dr. Cross's list. This was the network's base, where they gathered, planned, coordinated their invisible crimes. We can't raid it, Chen said, studying the surveillance. The moment we approach, they'll displace themselves. We'll walk into an empty building while they watch invisibly. Then we don't raid it. We infiltrate. Marcus checked his watch. 14 hours remaining. I go in during my next displacement cycle. When I become imperceptible, I walk in like I'm one of them. Gather evidence. Find Dr. Cross. Expose the whole operation from inside. That's insane. Once you're displaced, you're vulnerable. They could kill you, and no one would know. They could kill me now. At least displaced, I have the element of surprise. Marcus pulled up building blueprints. I'll wear a wire. Continuous broadcast. You'll hear everything, even if you can't see me. When I give the signal, you move in, Chen argued. But Marcus was adamant. This was the only way. The only chance to stop the network before it expanded further. Before more people learned they could live outside society's observation, committing crimes with perfect anonymity. That afternoon, Marcus felt it happening. The displacement intensifying, people's eyes sliding past him. Conversations continuing as if he hadn't spoken. By 4 p.m. he was functionally invisible, present but imperceptible, a ghost walking among the living. He drove to the warehouse, Chen tracking his location via GPS. The wire transmitted his breathing, his footsteps, but nothing else. To Chen, he was a disembodied presence, a voice without a form. Marcus entered the warehouse. Inside, 12 people worked at various stations, computer terminals, radio equipment, surveillance monitors showing dozens of locations across the city. This was command central for the invisible network, and there, tied to a chair in the corner, was Dr. Cross. Visible, conscious, terrified. Marcus approached slowly, careful not to make noise. The network members couldn't see him, but they could hear him, feel him. Displacement affected perception, not physical presence. He was still solid, still real, just unobservable. He got close to Dr. Cross, whispered, "It's Marcus Reid. I'm here. Can't be seen, but I'm here." Dr. Cross's eyes widened. She couldn't see him, but understood. She nodded slightly. One of the network members, a woman Marcus recognized as Jennifer Walsh from the trial list, approached. "Dr. Cross, last chance. Give us the permanent displacement formula. The one that doesn't wear off after 24 hours. Make us invisible forever, and we'll let you go." "I won't. The temporary displacement is dangerous enough. Permanent would destroy society. No accountability, no observation, pure chaos." Dr. Cross's voice was firm despite her fear. "Chaos? We call it freedom. Imagine never being watched, never being judged, never being caught. We could do anything, be anything. The world becomes ours." Jennifer smiled. Porter was small-minded. He wanted to sell the tech. "We want to spread it, give it to everyone. Let society tear itself apart when no one can see each other anymore." Marcus understood now. This wasn't about crime. It was about ideology. The network believed perception itself was oppression. That being observed meant being controlled. They wanted to destroy the social contract by making everyone imperceptible. A world where no one could verify anyone else's existence. Anarchist philosophy weaponized through neuroscience. Marcus spoke into his wire, describing everything he saw. The members, the equipment, the plans displayed on monitors, targets across the city, police stations, government buildings, media outlets. They were planning simultaneous displacement attacks. Hundreds of people rendered imperceptible at once. Social collapse through perceptual chaos. "We strike tomorrow," Jennifer announced. Midnight, 247 targets. By dawn, this city won't know what's real anymore. And when the panic spreads, we'll be there, invisible, in control. The new rulers of a world that can't see us. Marcus had heard enough. He gave the signal 3 sharp knocks. Chen's team would move now. He turned to free Dr. Cross and found Jennifer staring directly at him. "Hello, Detective Reid. Surprised I can see you?" She smiled. "I've been tracking your displacement all day. Knew you'd come. Knew you'd think you were invisible. But I've developed an enhancement. A way to perceive the imperceptible. You're not invisible to me. You never were." Marcus realized the trap too late. Jennifer had been playing him, letting him think he was unobserved while she tracked his every move. She raised a gun, aimed directly at him despite his displaced state. "Your team's outside. But they can't help. They can't see you. Can't verify you're here. If I shoot you, you'll die invisible. A body they'll find but never understand. Just another victim of the blind spot." Jennifer's finger tightened on the trigger. Marcus moved, not away, toward her. His therapist training kicked in. "You're not a killer, Jennifer. You're angry, hurt. The trial changed you and you want the world to understand that pain. But mass displacement won't fix it. It'll just spread the suffering. You're wrong. It'll liberate everyone. Free them from the tyranny of being seen. No, it'll isolate them, make them alone. Perception isn't oppression, it's connection. It's how we know we exist, how we matter. Marcus kept approaching. Your enhancement lets you see the displaced. That means you still need to be seen, still need connection. You haven't escaped observation, you've just inverted it. Jennifer hesitated. Marcus saw doubt flicker across her face. In that moment, Chen's team breached the building. Flashbangs, smoke, chaos. Marcus lunged for the gun. They struggled. The weapon fired, bullet passing through the space Marcus had occupied a second earlier. He disarmed her, took her down, cuffed her while team members secured the other network members. But something was wrong. The team was grabbing empty air, fighting invisible opponents. The network had triggered mass displacement. Everyone in the warehouse except Marcus and Jennifer had vanished from perception. They're still here, Marcus shouted. All around you! Keep moving! Keep your hands out! Chen entered, gun drawn, sweeping a room that looked empty but was full of imperceptible people. Marcus, where are you? Right here. He waved his hand in front of her face. Nothing. He was still displaced. Still invisible. The network members are here too. Displaced. You have to feel for them. Physically search every inch. It took 30 minutes to secure the warehouse. Officers feeling through empty space until they contacted solid bodies, cuffing people they couldn't see. Reading rights to perceptual ghosts. The entire operation was surreal. A mass arrest of invisible suspects. Dr. Cross was freed. She immediately began working on the counteragent. I need 12 hours. I can synthesize enough for everyone affected. Marcus, the network, all of them. Will reverse every displacement. And the enhancement? The one that lets Jennifer see the displaced? That's permanent. She modified her own neural pathways. She'll always be able to perceive what others can't. It makes her valuable. A witness to the invisible. Dr. Cross looked at Marcus. We might need her help tracking any network members who escaped. Jennifer, cuffed and defeated, laughed. You think this ends here? The technology's out there. The concept proven. Other networks will form. Other people will want invisibility. You can't stop an idea whose time has come. Maybe not, Marcus said. But we can prove the idea is wrong. That invisibility isn't freedom, it's prison. You wanted to be unseen. Now you'll spend life behind bars, visible to everyone, every day. That's real accountability. Over the next 12 hours, Dr. Cross synthesized counteragent. One by one, displaced individuals were treated. Perception normalized. The network members became visible again, vulnerable to justice. The attack on the city was prevented. The technology was secured. Marcus received his dose last. Dr. Cross administered it personally. This will hurt. The neural pathways have to reconfigure. Brace yourself. The pain was intense, like his brain was being rewritten in real time. But slowly he felt perception solidify, saw Chen's eyes focus on him, saw recognition instead of that terrible sliding past that imperceptibility created. I can see you, Chen said, relief in her voice. Good, because I'm tired of being invisible. Marcus looked at the arrested network members, all visible now, all facing justice. Everyone deserves to be seen. That's not oppression. That's being human. The case closed with 13 arrests. Porter remained in custody. The displacement technology was classified and locked away. Dr. Cross destroyed her research, ensuring it couldn't be replicated. And the 15 trial participants received ongoing treatment to prevent future displacement episodes. But late one night, Marcus received a final message. You stopped one network. There are others. We exist in the blind spots, and we're watching you, always watching, because we can see what you can't. Sleep well, detective. Marcus deleted the message. Jennifer's enhancement was out there. Maybe in others. People who could perceive the imperceptible. Who lived between observation and invisibility. The case was closed. But the phenomenon remained. Somewhere in the city's blind spots, people existed unseen. And Marcus would spend the rest of his career wondering who was watching him from spaces perception couldn't reach. The borrowed time had been returned. But the debt remained unpaid.